How do I introduce myself? I'm Alexandra Senz. I'm journalist. I continue saying that even though it's a huge lie because I write less and less. I'm going now to Georgia to do an article on Tbilisi, but that I sold to a newspaper because I want to meet embroiderers there. So I try to continue my job of journalist if it's related to a new adventure I've started 6 years ago. I started a brand called Kilometre Paris, and kilometre is kilometer. It's written without an accent because it's in French it has an accent. If you take out the accent, it's in English. So Kilometre Paris is a brand that embroiders travel. Every piece is about a destination. Every piece is signed with a GPS on it. Everything is handmade, hand embroidered, hand woven, hand knitted. The shoes are from Comme des Garçons.
Yeah, I love the shoes.
It's Converse, but done with Comme des Garçons. And I like this collaboration of a Japanese brand
It's very beautiful. I love
with an
the
American.
shoes. I want one.
And then the pants are made in India, and the shirt is about a collaboration I did with a rally, automobile. There was a race car, and they asked me to do the first prize and to give the first prize. So I thought I'm going to tell a story about where, from the castle where it happened. There was that's the castle in Chantilly, and we embroidered the cars that were racing. So that's an Auto Bianchi. It was a rally called Total Look 80. It's about the 80s. So this is a car that is from 82. This is a Rolls Royce. I don't remember but it's from between 80 and 89. And I was jury of this race, and I was supposed to judge the look because you had to be with a 1980 car, music 1980, and look, makeup, the cigarettes, everything 80s. And I was judging how well the people were 80s, and we gave a prize for the look, we gave a prize for the car, we gave a prize for the race, and Kilomet was one of the prize. So this I did one for the winner and one for me.
Nice. Does it have in the back?
Yes.
As well?
Yeah. In the back you have
the 80s mix.
The 80s mix.
Is that a music or
yes.
Sweet Dreams?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all hits from the 80s. You have this little car, and you have the GPS of the castle where it happened. And
That's
the
cool.
scarf from Ethiopia.
From Ethiopia.
From Addis.
Yes, from Mercato. They're all decked up, looking all pretty.
Yeah. I'm going to compare myself to Steve Jobs. He started in a parking in Los Altos in California. Maybe I started in Addis Abeba with this story, and I hope that in 5 years you'll see Kilometre everywhere. And my story is that I've been really struggling with banks. I've been selling a lot. I've been really growing. I've been very lucky. I have a lot of people buying Kilometre, but it's very difficult, the fashion industry. And when you believe in something, really fight. If Kilometre dies tomorrow, I did all my best. If it grows well, I'm very happy because this is what I wanted. I'm not a designer. When people say to me, oh, you're not a journalist anymore, you're a fashion designer. I say, no, I'm a pilot. I'm a conductor of this company of hands and talents. I discovered artisans, I discovered craft. I come from the luxury business. I was heading fashion magazines all my life. I'm known in France for a magazine that I started 25 years ago. I have no dates in my life. I have one, which is 98, where my daughter was born and a magazine was born. I was a kid when this happened. So I headed this magazine for 10 years, and I was hired to start an American magazines. I've been really, really dealing with the fashion industry. And I think that the fashion industry is very, very outdated. Not all, of course, loads of fun. I'm not acid. It's not because I'm getting old. It's just because I think fashion industry is not on the right path with the money, marketing, and lying. So I think, and of course, there's incredible fashion designers, incredible fashion stories. But one that I like is craft, because I think crafts and hand is important. And I discovered how everything is possible when I send an image to a knitter. She just goes, she does the image. I don't even need to draw. Very driven by this company, and I'm trying to make this company grow.
Oh, and your rings? Where are your rings from?
It's very interesting that you ask this. This one, it's a very incredible story. It's a very, very expensive ring. A designer called Bibi van der Helden. She's from Holland, from Amsterdam, and she fell in love with the brand, and she wanted a very, very expensive piece of the brand. And she said, why don't we do a barter? And I was like, wow, that's so nice to barter an expensive piece of mine to an expensive piece. And of course, I love her jewelry. It's not because it's expensive that I want this ring. And she did it for me. I'm Leo, and so it's a little lion with diamonds. This one is incredible story also. Do you want the whole story?
Yes, please.
Okay. This one is an ex-boyfriend who offered this ring to me in a jewelry shop in Venice. It's a very famous jewelry shop called Codognato. Everyone from Lady Diana to Elton John to Prince to all the stars have a ring from this place. He's very on death and skulls. And this one is 150 years old. It's also an expensive, sorry to speak about money, but because I'm speaking about money, because it was very precious. And 2 months after, I hit it and it broke. And I was like, no, my God, how can I have this ring if I'm breaking it in 2 months? And then I hit it again and again, and it was totally covered. And I was super worried. I was like, how can I not take care of this ring? I love it, and I love the story about it, the Venice, this boyfriend. And under, there was a text. And I spoke to the jewelry person. It's his great-grandfather who did it. And I said, do you know that there's a text under? And he didn't know about it. So it's a beautiful story. And the text is in French. And it says, Je suis un début et une fin, which means I'm a start and an end. But end in French, fin, means also an aim. So you're an end, but I hear fin as an aim in life. So it's the cycle. And this one, I bought it in Barcelona. It's a brand that belongs to Chanel called Goossens. It's a very artisanal brand, and I very rarely buy stuff for myself because everything is for planes and travels. And I bought this ring in a new shop in Barcelona, and I always wear it. You know everything now. The rings, from rings to toes.
Yeah, exactly. Very beautiful. I know you were born and raised in Senegal.
In Dakar.
Yeah. What does that mean to you?
Oof. Again. Okay, so it's very important. I'm gonna give you you're gonna like this story. You're going to think it's racist, and I think today you're not allowed to be racist, you're not allowed to be unpolitically correct, but I want to be it. I want to be, because I was in a fashion show. I was on the first row because I was heading a magazine, and there was next to me a very, very high guy called André Léon Talley, who was the assistant of Anna Wintour from the US Vogue. Black guy, incredible look, looks like a king, huge feet. He was 48. I remember Gucci telling me a story about how when he buys a crocodile shoe, it's horribly expensive because he has too big shoes. He looks like an incredible African king, but he was not very proactive with black people. I think he didn't really input. He didn't give his black input to the US Vogue. I think at the end of his life, because he died, he started realizing that's the black scene, and he had to integrate in the New York scene. And a friend of mine, a black guy, passed in front. He has a magazine called Trace in New York, and he said, Alex, in French, so André didn't hear that. He said, Alex, you're more black than this white guy. And I said, how can you say that? And he said, he's a bounty, and you have a black heart. So bounty, I didn't know this expression. It's a black bar with a white heart. So because he was trying so bad to fit in, and I think it's very important in 2024 to say that, because we evolved a lot on Black Lives Matter. And I'm a black person inside, and because I was brought up in Africa, and then I lived in New York, and I had an opposite racism of black kids who didn't understand why I wanted to be friends with them, because I was brought up with black kids. So for me, Dakar really, really, it gave me the colors, because I was brought up barefoot with colors, with boubou, so I got the colors, and I got this luxury of understanding minorities, I think.
But why were you born there, or why did your family move there?
I was born in Dakar. Dakar is the capital of Senegal.
Yeah.
And I lived until I was 8, and then I moved to New York. My father was working for an import-export company, and as a kid I was saying that he was emptying the planes. I thought he was emptying and putting in the planes, which was not the case. So he likes this story. Then he was hired to open this company in New York, so we followed him in New York, and then we followed him another city, and etc., etc.
That's beautiful. So you are very connected to Africa. You are bocadillo de nocilla. Bocadillo de nocilla is Nutella sandwich.
Yes.
So you are also like a Nutella sandwich.
Yes.
So you're black inside, but you are white outside.
Exactly. Yeah. So he was a bounty, and I'm a bocadillo de nocilla.
Exactly. It could be like an Oreo, and you're bocadillo de nocilla.
I'm not an Oreo.
No, you're bocadillo de nocilla. You're white outside and black inside. But you said like Ethiopia was one of your dream destinations. Why was that?
So I'm going to tell you a beautiful story. Since I'm a kid, I want to go to Ethiopia. I don't know why. And I could have went for many reasons. I had money, I could come. I could have sent myself because for the magazine and do something. I could have asked a boyfriend to invite me. I could, many times, once a boyfriend asked me, where do you want to go? Anywhere in the world. And I said, Zanzibar. And we went to Zanzibar. I should have said Ethiopia, since it was my dream. I didn't. And I've been dreaming and phantasming on this, and I never did. And the occasion I came is because a friend of mine is an ambassador here with his wife and his 2 little kids, and when they said to me they were coming 2.5 years ago, I said, I'll come to see you because it's my dream. And I never did. And he's leaving in 6 months, and he's called me, and his wife called me and said, Alex, you have to come. We're leaving in 6 months. It's your dream. Yeah, no, I can't. It's not the moment. It's really not the moment. I'm struggling with my company. And I thought, I can't say no. This offer is too big for me, and something is happening to me now, and I hope that you're a witness of something good. In 3 days, I met in August a guy who's someone who was just giving me advices on my company. Then I met him a week ago in Spain, where he looked at my business plan and the way I wanted to grow, etc. And we decided here to be associates, and he wants to help me grow this company. So maybe it's Ethiopia bringing this to me, but I'm very emotional about it. I did a 3-hour Zoom this morning, and I cried on the plane because I knew this was going to happen. I was like looking at myself in the mirror, and I don't like to look at myself in the mirror. And I was looking, and I was like, I'm going to Ethiopia, and this might happen. So maybe this land is bringing this suerte, this luck, this religious. I'm not Catholic, but I believe. I have loads of belief, and I think something is happening. I hope so. I hope it's happening.
Yeah, and you came in a good time, where it's both Christians and Muslims are fasting at the same time. Yeah, so like if
so
you
it's
go,
stronger.
It's strong. So like if you go in the evening to restaurants, you see all the Muslim people doing iftar. If you go in the afternoon to churches, it's all white, people praying. It's kind of beautiful scene to see. Okay, so you've been here how many days now?
Only 3 days, so imagine.
Only 3 days. So what have you seen? Have you seen something nice you like, or something you want to see?
Something I want to see. Okay, so I saw. First, I met incredible crowd, and you're part of it. It's very short meetings, but each meetings are rich. You're I think very open crowd people, but I went to Fendika, and the owner said something on the stage. He said, "Welcome to Fendika Hospital," and I liked it because he first spoke in Amharic, and then he tried to translate it in English. And I think the hospital idea was about you come here to just to feel good, to listen to music and drink tej. And I discovered what tej is. I'm not saying it the right way. Tej. So that's very. And the first night I arrived here, so that was lucky. And second, yes, I discovered Sabahar.
Sabahar.
So that's something I'm driven about. So I discovered this place where they weave and they hand do from the silk bug.
Oh, silk bug, yes.
Yeah, to the scarf. These are not from them. I went to Mercato where I bought these, and I'm going tomorrow to Tigre, and I'm lucky because I know it was closed. I know, and so I'm looking forward to discover Tigre and La Libella, and many other trips within the people I'm going to meet.
How many countries have you been to?
So you said 64,
yes,
and I hate people who count their countries.
Yeah.
So I know that it's your job, that it's part of it, and you maybe have to say, maybe people ask you, but when you're a traveler, you do not count the countries. So I'm unable, and I will never count the countries in which I went.
Yeah.
But I went from Colombia to Japan to South Africa to Pakistan to I can give you a long list. Loads of states in US, loads of countries in Africa. I'm lucky. I traveled a lot.
Since you are a traveler and not a vacationer, I'm not going to ask you which country is your favorite country, because could be all of them are good.
I can have an answer.
Okay.
First, I never go on vacation. I'm always working.
Yeah.
I know how to rest. I know how to cut. But I always find a way of working because that's how I get in the country. That's the problem of a journalist. And if I really had to choose, I think then when I pick, I think of Senegal, Africa, but if two countries...
You're biased. That's biased because it's your home.
Yeah, but there's two, it's India and Japan for two reasons. Because I'm lost in these countries, because of the religious, because of the Buddhist spirits, because the food, the language, the caste, these countries are so far from us that each time I go, I cry when I see architecture. Normally I cry when I hear a story. I cry in cinema, but I never cry in front of a building. In Japan, I cried because someone served food and the way they served, I started crying.
Yeah.
In India, I cry a lot, and so these two countries,
Best experience. There are many, I'm sure, but one that pops up in your head. It could be a good or it could be a bad one.
One good is the one is the Japanese story. I was with a friend. We were going to a tea place, and we arrived with a scooter. He forgot his computer on the scooter. That's a detail, but it's very important. We went in this tea place. It lasted 3 hours. Tea ceremony, like you do coffee ceremony here. And the menu was this big, like this, with only, what do you say? It's bean sugar thing, from purple to red. So it was like 20 kinds of purples, 20 kinds of red. And it was like looking at this menu, like how can you do just a place with this? And there was a leaking faucet, and there was all the plates were different, and I washed my hands with a piece with they give you something to wash your hands, and I put it down this way, and then I looked at all around me, and they all had folded this so well, and me it looked like shit, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a pig.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad of this exquisite in Japan of how everything is so incredibly refined, and I started crying. I was looking at this drop, and the drop was a reason. Everything was for a reason. So and we came out of the tea place, and he saw his computer, and it was still there 3 hours later, because they're very honest people, and I was very shocked about this. So this is a very good experience.
Very beautiful, yes.
And a bad experience that finished very well. I was in Pakistan. I was developing a fashion week for a very rich woman, and I was in Karachi, and I brought some journalists with me, and we were 10, and we went to see the show. First, I was swimming in the hotel, and we took a little bus to go to the show, and it was a show with Pakistani designers. And we were in the middle of the show, and I was responsible of 10 people. And these 10 people were next to me. None of us had Wi-Fi. And on my right was this woman hosting us. And I see all the first row, everyone on the phone. And we were looking at the show, and everyone on the phone. And I look and I say, what's happening? and she says to me, your hotel has been bombed. So I'm like, this? And I go, okay, what should I do? Should I tell the 10 people that are with me what's happening? How come the show is still happening? And I was very, very stressed about that. And I said to my neighbor, and everyone knew about this, and everyone stayed for the show. So I was very impressed that no one got up. And then the American ambassador hosted us in the embassy and said, you're allowed to go, but don't worry, it's not your hotel that was bombed, but it was like a police station that was bombed by Taliban, and our hotel blew up. But my room is still there, but in the pool I was swimming just before, there was glass all over the pool. My room was totally destroyed. And we came back to the hotel and we were like, what should we do? And the ambassador said, we can send you back to France. And Brussels, there were people from England, Brussels. And we all looked at each other and we said, no, we're going to stay. And I said, are you sure? And I'm staying, I'm working here. But no, we're going to stay. The people, it's their life, it's their daily life.
Yeah.
Why would we leave? It was done. It was bombed. Now it's not going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. And everyone stayed. And I have the goosebump just telling you the story. We stayed. We were a bit shocked, and we had to change hotel, and we were all like this, and we still all continue speaking about this story of how in 1 minute we would not have died, but we would have been hurt maybe, but it's a difficult country where there's I think there are 50 million people, and I'm like, you have bad people in Pakistan, really bad, but you have a community of people that are incredible, embroiderers, designers, artists, conductors, and you have a life in Pakistan, and it's a country that is erased from the map.
Do you have an inspirational thing that you want to say to people?
It's to fight with a smile and to really believe in what you need. I know it's very easy to say that. For some people, it's very difficult to believe, but you have a lot of really good stories of people who work hard, don't give up.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new today. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye!